And then a more troubling clip out there for Huntsman fans, kind of reminiscent of what we saw a few months back before the Bristini changes, which, a lot of people said kind of brought back the momentum, the snowball effect for this roster, as we've seen the ups and downs this season, mostly ups for the Chicago Huntsmen. Arcitys now comes out with a recent clip, which is oddly, like I said, reminiscent of complaints he has had earlier this season, which does concern me as we slowly approach champs. Going to be definitely some big news coming out there. Minnesota making gigantic changes that many teams are not willing to make, so we'll see how that works out for them. When it comes time for Arcitys and his complaints, though, this time yet again, and complaining about what we've already talked about this season. Shroud certainly was one to be a proponent of coming out with not going pro in Valorant because he cannot balance full-time streaming and competing. Chicago Huntsmen kind of known for having a lot of their players, Scump and Formal primary two, to actually stream their scrims and stream a lot in general. Arcitys might have a bit of an issue with that.
We need to know what the fuck we want to do on the map. I sit there and go on fucking speeches after we lose maps or after we win maps, what we could do doing better, and they're just sitting there saying, "Yo, thanks for the subscription." And I'm sitting there, I was like, cool, so I just had a fucking 10-minute conversation to Troy about getting better. So it's Simp, Envoy, Selenium, Shotzi, and
just like many months ago, it seems a problem with communication and receptiveness of him and his teammates trying to take on advice from a guy like Arcitys and maybe other teammates as well. It's a tad bit concerning when you talk about the issues they already had early on in the season, taking very long to start practicing S&D. What Arcitys called is they just don't know how to play at all. And again, other issues with people showing up late to practice and issues with communication were brought up. I'll replay for you guys that clip, which is months and months old, but it's not good when it kind of resurfaces and all of a sudden he's having similar issues yet again, at least to some extent, of those same issues.
Monday or Tuesday. Tuesday was the first day we actually went into a lobby. Is 6, 7, or 8 of us, even Tupac and General are in there, and we actually went over S&D stuff. That was the first time this year.
This late into the season?
Yes. Instead of scrimming, we just went in there as us and went over stuff like what we want to do on the map and where we want to go and how do we feel on the map. Because after we lost at Piccadilly to Florida, we were like, dude, they just felt uncomfortable because we had like one strat. And Seth just was like, dude, I don't know what I'm doing right now.
I was going to say, is that map specific feeling uncomfortable or is that just your entire search?
I think entire search. I just think.
I totally understand the idea that no one's listening. At any point throughout the squad, has anyone thought a team like bringing General off the bench and putting him in the main roster? Has that ever been in discussion? Because he's a very good player.
Again, I'm being straight up with you guys. I did. There was a week right before Dallas. This was the last event.
Yep.
Yeah, a week before that, we didn't win a map for like 3 days, 4 days.
You get tucked,
Yeah, it was when I was running a flex, and right after that, I was like, yo, let me run the AR, because Matt was just sitting there complaining about the MP5, which every AR does. But I was like, I told Troy on the side, I was like, Troy, if we don't win a map today, I'm gonna spectate. I want to see what these guys are doing on the map to make us lose, because I know it's me, it's all of us. I'm like, dude, what's going on?
And so it kind of draws out the question again, should these pro players be streaming during scrims or during prac, or should they be streaming at all? Some might say no. Obviously, when it comes time for side income, a lot of these guys forfeit a lot of income just being a part of the league. We've talked about Scump, we've talked about Sense, the deals they've lost out on. So yeah, they want to try and stream as much as possible and make, additional income as much as possible. Does that, or should that extend to scrims and pracs as well? We've seen different people doing different things. I would say fairly so. A majority of players, a majority of teams have not been streaming their scrims. But even with recent additions for some teams out there, or changes for some teams out there, a lot more pro players have been streaming in general, and some have considered even streaming scrims. I believe it was actually Optic. I think it was Slasher saying last week after that iffy event that he might even consider streaming scrims again, because why not, right? What's there to hurt? So what do you guys think about this? Should these pro players be streaming their scrims, streaming these important moments, which apparently Arcitys might have a problem with, because as he's trying to communicate with his team, they're busy reading off donations and subscriptions? Is it as effective? I don't know. I'm not a pro player. Just here to listen and here to talk mostly. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Drink that water, drink that coffee. As we slowly approach the biggest Call of Duty event of all time, it seems some guys are pretty focused on streaming. Until next time, take care. Okay, bye-bye.